All right, so real estate is changing. That's what they're saying. Let's go.
Hey, listen, the old way to wealth through real estate is simply not feasible anymore. You cannot gain wealth through real estate the same way you could gain wealth through real estate back in, the 1950s through maybe 80s or even 90s, or maybe even to early 2000s. The game was buy a couple houses, buy some multi-families, stack the cash flow till you getting about $6,000 a month, and then you'll be all right. Cost of living is high and times have changed. Real estate is not the way to wealth anymore. In my opinion, real estate is a mandatory asset to your portfolio, but you need to focus more on buying businesses that cash flow immediately, buying businesses or creating businesses where you can increase your earned income as opposed to waiting 30 years to really make some money in real estate.
Everyone thinks real estate investing means one of three things.
Okay, before he even goes further, hey, like, subscribe, follow for more content. I appreciate it. This is what I do. 20-year vet in the real estate space. Shoot, y'all know real estate lunchbox is where the culture meets real estate. So this is what I'm gonna put it together. I'm gonna put it together like this and tell you. Real estate isn't dead. Don't let anybody fool you. The techniques that were used back 5 years ago during 2020 COVID, or even let's take it further, let's say back to 2015, you're not going to use some of those methods now. You're not going to use those techniques, those same techniques. They don't fit right now. That's why it looks different. That's why people are scratching their head. Should I even be in real estate? Should I get in real estate? I agree with the last portion he said. And I've been saying this throughout this channel. If you look at any of my videos when we talk more about real estate and less about the craziness going on in the culture mixed with it, I say you need to build something. This is the season where you build. This is the season where you acquire, acquisition, you buy businesses. This is the season for that. Because for inflation, for your real estate to keep up with inflation, which it will, it'll keep up. Assets go up during inflationary periods, and real estate is an inflationary asset, is an asset that increases during inflationary periods. But even in that, certain market conditions have to be met. But you know what you can always do to make money? A business. And now, because we have AI, because we're so digital, there's practically no barriers. You can do, work. You can be living in Atlanta and do business, California, Tokyo. It doesn't matter. France. You're not restricted by these boundaries any longer. And you're not restricted by the time it takes to make some of the things you think about any longer. That's why I say build a business so that it keeps up with what's going on in inflation. You buy the real estate, but we buy real estate different now. We're buying real estate and we're holding it, or we're building from the ground floor up, getting huge discounts when it comes to these supplies from the ground floor up and holding on to the asset. We may do an owner finance. We'll do that. But you say, Leon, I want to be in real estate. I keep saying wholesaling is a business and it keeps up with what's going on in the market. You can do it in any state, even with the states right now that are banning it. They're not just banning wholesale, they're wholesaling. They're making it where you have to get a license. And a lot of times those licenses are $150, $100. But that's a small price to pay to be able to do business in your state and to be recognized as legitimate. Okay. So real estate hasn't changed. It's just the techniques that we use in real estate. That's it.
Flipping houses, Airbnb, or of course Section 8. Everyone loves Section 8. Flipping is a construction business, Airbnb is a hospitality business, and Section 8 is a government program with a landlord attached to it. They all suck, and none of these are what I do. I created the loan and own method. I buy affordable homes for 30 grand and sell them on owner financing to working class buyers. They get a house, I get a 30-year note, and nobody's calling me about a leaky faucet at 2 o'clock in the morning. I bought 10 of these deals last year. It's about $100K a year in passive income, and I have a full-time job and a family. Here's exactly how I do it. I go to the Loan and Own Market Finder, type in any city in the US, and it spits out a full report telling me if that market qualifies for the method. If it scores at least a 7 out of 10, I take it to Zillow, set the filter to 30K, pick a house, make an offer, and buy it with private money. Then I post it on Facebook Marketplace. Look at all the people who want to buy these houses. I buy the house for $30,000 and sell it for $69,000. It's not complicated. It's just not what gets posted about.
Estate wholesalers do not.
So what I think, and this goes back to what I've been saying, you got to realize it's always about location. For him to find a house that's 30,000, I wonder what type of market he's in. He didn't mention about fixing anything up. He may be doing that, doing a little bit of fixing, and then selling it owner finance. Either way, his loan and own method is what we consider owner finance. That's all it is buying a property and taking the money. Taking that property and loaning it out. Well, not loaning, selling it to someone and creating a note. Now, in that situation, you do have to have a free and clear property. I'm gonna tell you, don't just buy it with a loan and go do it. You'll find out that that's a different type of method. Okay, and I'm not gonna cover that right here. You can do it. It's just a different type of method, and it's a lot of things that's involved in there. But it makes it easier, and I would say legal, depending on the state you're in, to do it with a paid off mortgage. And that's what you want. So that's a different way of buying real estate. Real estate is not dead. It just, the technique to acquire it is just a little different. And to sell it is a little different.
For the scam of scaling that these gurus are trying to teach you. Scaling for me was one of the worst things I ever did. Let's say right now you can do 2 deals a month, 2 deals a month. Average deal size 10K, you're making 10, 20K a month. Let's say you scale it up to 100K on 20% profit margins. Now, you're doing much more work, much more stress with the same profit. Doesn't make sense. Stay at a reasonable level. Like right now, I close 2 to 4 deals a month. And it's 95% profit. So don't scale. Stay where you at. Do good with your money. Invest, and you'll be good.
Yeah, real estate wholesaling is a business. That's why I said I believe that this is the season for wholesaling, because it's like the gateway drug. That probably wasn't the best way to put it, but honestly, it is. It's the gateway drug. Because when I got hooked on real estate, it was through wholesaling, and wholesaling took me over to owner financing, which took me over to subject toing, which took me over to wraparound mortgages, which helped me to understand the industry and how there's so many creative ways to actually make money in the industry and be legit, do it legally, do it ethically, and it's so many different ways. As far as his point when it comes to scaling, I did not scale. I didn't see it, and I agree with what he's saying right there. Between the stress of dealing with deals in different market centers, California, Texas, or Philadelphia, one of those places, I said I would rather do deals, enough deals that I can control. 2 to 3 deals a month is not bad. And not 2 to 3 deals a month is not bad. At one time, I was doing somewhere between 40 to 50 deals a year. So you do the math on that. Well, we're doing about 40 to 50 deals a year. And I don't say this to impress anybody, because trust me, it's more work than anything. That's about 4 deals a month. Not bad at all, right? 3 to 4 deals a month. To believe that I have to build this giant business in order to make some part-time income, that's the lie. That's the deception. You just got to know what to do, how to do it. That's why I say like, follow, and subscribe. When I drop the school community, it's strictly for beginners, and you can go in and just learn everything you need to learn. You ain't got to get nobody your money. You ain't got to go do none of those different things. Just learn what you got to learn and go do it. I don't have to be involved in it. You don't need a bunch of partners to do it. You just need to know what to do, how to be effective. If anything, doing it. That's it. Once you have that, let me tell you, the world is yours, dude. You can start creating money out of nowhere. Then you see opportunities where other people don't see it. And that's the part. That's it right there. Solving problems that people have and seeing opportunities where nobody sees it.
Well, short-term rentals don't work anymore. The Burr method doesn't work anymore. Wholesaling is getting outlawed in states, and Section 8 rentals are a terrible idea. Pretty much every real estate investment strategy no longer works, according to the gurus who were teaching all these strategies. And the craziest thing is some of the biggest education companies that are still teaching people how to flip houses don't even flip houses anymore.
You know, I never considered that to be a evil thing, because there's a point I would prefer you to have known how to flip houses and have done flips. You don't have to be doing a bunch of flips right now to actually teach me how to flip a commercial property, for example, or something like that, which I've never done before. I've never flipped a commercial property. But you don't have to be that person that's doing it at the point in time to show it at this spot. Like, if you've done it before multiple times, you're cool with me. Now, when he says none of these things are working because the gurus are saying it, yeah, I got a problem with that. I have always been an advocate for finding your own path in this space. There is no set plan that a guru does that will work for you, or that you need to work for you in order to be successful. And what I mean by that is simply, you may be in a market area where the highest home, the average home is at 150,000. Some people live in those type of market areas, probably 200,000. So what? The technique that guru gives you doesn't mean it's going to work in your market area. So what you do, you take the information, you go out and you execute. And then you learn from your execution, you adjust your plan, and then you go back out and execute. In the military, we used to call that ready, fire, aim. Okay? Because it's like ready, fire, and then aim. We adjust it. Fire, and then aim. We adjust it. Okay? Now, that works for some deals it doesn't. But the concept is there. You gotta go do. You gotta go do and adjust as you do. And then you'll find the technique that works in your market area. Let nobody tell you wholesaling is it. I'm not saying it works in every place. There are some places it will work in and some places it won't. But one thing it does do, it works you could be anywhere in the world and do it in any market center, or just about any market center, and gain profit. You can be in St. Thomas. You can be in Jamaica. Man, we were dealing with somebody. This dude was in Pakistan one time. And I was like, I asked the business partner, Pakistan? Like, what the heck? Yeah, he was over there. He found the deal, did the wholesale deal, flipped it. Wow. I thought that was crazy. But that tells you that you can't sit back and listen to everything that you hear on the news, especially when you hear from gurus. Don't call me a guru. I'm just trying to tell you how to actually navigate this BS. That's
kind of crazy. Anyway, I'm buying more houses than I ever have on a monthly basis because real estate still works. And when you buy right and you have a strategy, it actually works. The problem is all these people that are teaching folks how to do it started when times were easy, in an easy market with low interest rates.
And I started when the time was hard. 2006, I got my real estate license, did my very first deal in 2006. And if you know, that was the great reset, real estate reset. From 2006 to 2000 and practically 9, I would say, probably 10, I dealt with a lot of REO deals, which are real estate owned deals. Those were bank deals that they gave to agents. And guess what? I was the agent showing it to the buyers that wanted to buy it because I was working on a team. But I was able to see a lot of the buying techniques from these investors, and it was not the same technique that they're using right now, nor was it the same that they used in 2020 or 2018, 2019. There was a point in time where investors were grabbing these properties. And I'm going to tell you, man, 2008, 2009 in real estate was not easy. It was hard. It was hard. And if you think that this season is hard, then you're twisted. Okay. But one thing I did learn is if you start doing a hard time, when it becomes easy, when the times level out, when they become easier, you may work a little bit more harder or work as hard, but it's just because you want to. You get what I'm saying? It's just because you want to. It's just because you've got that momentum. You saw what you went through back then, and you know what to do right now. And you see all the opportunities that are there. Hey, but when there's blood in the streets, that's when the deals are actually made. Not when it's pretty and perfect outside. Like, subscribe, follow for more content. This your boy, Real Estate Lunchbox, where culture meets real estate. We doing it. I see you guys on the next video. Peace.